What's up, gang? How you guys doing? It is Lieutenant Sal Blue, 28-year law enforcement veteran and the author of the Top 25 Mistakes en Route to the Good Life, coming at you with my daily podcast on Thanksgiving Day. That's right, guys. I told you that I was going to be doing my podcast early, and it just happens that, listen, a lot of times on Thanksgiving, man, you got to chip in. You got to chip in around the house. You got to do your part. You got things you need to do. And in helping out, it just so happens that I was fortunate enough that everything ended around the time that I always do my daily podcast. So how about that? That is strange how that all worked out, right? But anyway, I want to start off with you guys by saying that I had a plan. I had a plan that I thought I had figured out, right? How I was going to do this plan, what I was going to do to get this plan done, how I was going to implement the money that was going to be allocated toward this plan. Okay, I had it all mapped out. Had it all mapped out, or so I thought I had it all mapped out. Until I didn't, right? Until I didn't. So, just to bring up today's topic, and the question for today is I applied for a warehouse job, right? A warehouse job. It was overnight, and I figured I would go ahead and I would do this warehouse job overnight and then work full time on my business during the daytime, right? And that way I would have some money to fund my marketing plans and my Facebook ads and Google ads and everything else, right? All this goes to marketing because I'm doing a book and author and courses and so on and so forth. So as I thought I had this plan to the T, right, and mapped out, I even mapped out, like I said, the money for my marketing numbers, how much money was going to be allocated each check, and how much marketing I was going to be able to get done out of each check. So I had all that mapped out. Come to find out, guys, I know it's ridiculous. It actually pains me, right, that I didn't get the job. I didn't get the job, man. I got shut down. And the key factor to me getting shut down was two things. The first thing is that, number one, obviously, I am overly qualified for the job. And so they didn't think that I would be around long enough to be of benefit to the company. And secondly, right, the guy that was interviewing me figured, oh, this guy's just going to take my job anyway. So why am I even going to hire him in the first place, right? So he's just filling out for this job. So I didn't get the job, man. Overqualified, and that is okay, man, because everything happens for a reason. And because that happened, it is a blessing in disguise, and we'll talk about that later. But anyway, as this has happened to me, and so you have plans and so they don't work out, this is what today's podcast is about, guys. When things don't turn out as expected, is it your lack of planning, or is it a blessing in disguise? You know, and that is the question for today for all of you to think about when things don't work out the way you would like them to work out, right? When things don't work out the way you like them to work out, are you blaming someone else, right? Are you blaming your lack of planning? Or is it the fact that everything was lined up perfectly, but this particular situation was not meant for you to be involved in the first place? It was just not for you, right? As the universe goes, there's wisdom far beyond our wisdom that comes into play when things happen, when you think you have it all lined up, right? So I want you guys to think about that deep and hard. Now, I'm talking about this topic today because, like I said, I called myself mapping out my plan to fund my business, right? This is what I was going to do to fund my business, and it was just me just thinking, going against what I really truly believe in, and actually, I was going to do another one of those trade my time for dollars, right? I was going to trade my time for dollars as an employee situation. Even though I am slowly but surely growing out of that mindset, I was going to step back and subject myself to that. And my philosophy behind it was that if I'm willing to step back okay, to where I was before. Um, and being employed and work for somebody under the stringent rules and everything else to get the job done. If I was willing to do that, then the universe will be willing to give me what I want to move ahead. Right? That was my philosophy behind it. And so, and don't get me wrong, guys, I'm not afraid to step back. I'm not afraid to step back. I used to be afraid to step back because there were so many demons in my past of failures that I was afraid of them, right? Not realizing that I had already conquered them. I had already conquered those demons, and it's time for me to move forward and to level up my life, guys. So it is just going to take some thinking, some innovation, and some hard work. And some innovation and some hard work. And I'm going to have to do it in half the time, guys. Half the time I'm going to have to get it done. So you're going to watch me here and now, right now, at this day, Thanksgiving Day, this time next year, I will have my 5 to 10 year goal this time next year. That is how much work I'm going to have to put in and apply toward my business in order to have what I want when I need it. So, for me, right, stepping back, I have resigned to the fact that my plan A, right, my plan A, which was just marketing my business, selling my books, teaching my courses, and just growing my business online, I had resigned and mentally that my part A wasn't working out, and I needed to figure out another way to make some extra income to get ahead. That's what I thought. I just thought that the opportunity to make money online was not as easy as I thought it was, right? And it's just the fact that I've been talking to the wrong people. I've been learning from the wrong people, and I haven't been implementing fully what I've been learning. So there is nobody's blame but myself. These are all actions that I was capable of taking care of myself, and I did not do it properly. So I'm taking a step back on this day, the day of Thanksgiving, and giving thanks to the fact that I didn't get that job. Because it is going to give me some extra grit and some extra hard work to achieve the life that I want, man. So think about that, right? And let people know, right, through my efforts, okay, what they could have had on their hands. What they could have had on their hands is something amazing, right? So in doing so, I decided to apply for the warehouse job, as I told you guys. That's just in my notes, guys. And that was just for me to get extra money for the holidays. And just that didn't work out. It didn't work out, and I didn't get hired by them. And I was still thinking, because I was kind of upset at first, right? I was upset because I got rejected. And anytime you get rejected from anything, I guess emotionally or humanly, we at times we feel like, man, I could have made this happen. I could have figured something different out. I could have done this differently. And we think that, and it hurts us, right? It hurts us because we're rejected for a position, something that we felt that we were suitable for, or actually, believe it or not, something that we felt we were over suitable for, which then gave us the right to have that position. And I don't think that is clear thinking on my part when I did that, right? So I should have shot for the moon as opposed to shooting for the gutter, I guess. I don't know what you're going to call it, but and not putting nothing down against the warehouse workers, but I was the only one in the interview that showed up in a suit and tie. I had people show up in pajamas, had people show up in animal slippers. I had people show up 15 minutes late. And now that I think about it, those were all the people that got the job. You go figure, right? Go figure that. In my head, I just could not wrap my head around it. And then I said to myself that everything happens for a reason, right? Everything happens for a reason. And when I said that, when I thought that, my wife spoke out in her profound wisdom, and she's told me to accept and surrender. Accept and surrender. Accept that these circumstances were not meant for me, and surrender to the fact that the universe has bigger plans for what I want to do with my life. Much bigger plans. So accept and surrender that my wife says. My wife is a very religious woman, and that's how she does it. I mean, I believe that I survived through her blessings and her knowledge. So I am fortunate for that, right? But that is when I began to think to myself that every incident in life, big or small, joyous or painful, does not happen by accident. That incident didn't happen by accident. I did not get rejected by this company by accident. It was on purpose. It was on maybe even a divine purpose, right? You know, sometimes we get things and they call it divine intervention when just God just has to step in and go, enough, man, enough. This is not the path I want you to go down. And I'm going to have to put a big enough roadblock down here in your way to stop you and force you to go back in the directions you were going in. You know, so now when I rethink it, maybe I was going in the right direction, and just rearing off for just that moment takes away from my concentration of what I really need to be doing. I just didn't want to work hard enough, probably. That's probably what it is. Becoming an entrepreneur, becoming a successful author, speaker, okay, an entrepreneur is very hard work. And because it's very hard work, I was trying to circumvent that entire system and step back and do something lighthearted with no thinking involved. That's what I was trying to do with myself. I was just trying to step back. So now I know and I understand that, right? Because I do believe at some level, right, we are born into a certain environment in order to fulfill our destiny. Everything that has happened to us in our lives has a purpose. And I truly, truly believe this, right? And so a lot of times what happens is what we fail to realize is that even though we are born into certain circumstances, we are born into certain circumstances so that we can become something more out of those circumstances. And but what I also realize is that this destiny will not unfold, okay, unless I put in the work I need to make it happen, right? I need to put in the work in order to unfold this destiny, my destiny. And so a lot of times, like I said, divine intervention has to step in and stop me from going down the foolish path and get me back on track. And I believe that that's what this was today when I got this news, that it needed me to get back on track. And so I needed to go ahead and move forward with my path of author, entrepreneur, and speaker. Okay, so now I have to put in more work. Okay, I had to build up, okay, around the right people, okay, so I could begin to start to make the right moves to do the things that I need to do in my life, right? My mother taught me at a very young age to never go through life feeling helpless, right? Never go through life feeling helpless. She would always tell me that there's always plenty of help in life to get you the life that you want. But God only helps those, right, who helps themselves. And I don't know how many times you guys have heard this. If you're religious, I'm not super religious anymore, but I still believe in the lessons that are learned from the Bible and the Quran and the Torah and the Bhagavad Gita. All of those lessons, I believe, are life lessons that you need to know to have a good life, right? And so, and reading all those books and learning all those lessons, one of the things that I realized is my mother was always right when it came to that one fact. If you want help, okay, don't be a beggar sitting there doing nothing, asking for divine intervention. No. Be in the process of creating the life that you want, okay, and saying, I already know that you have blessed me with this ability to achieve what I want to achieve. And in doing so, everything that you need will be added to you. So me backing off of what I was supposed to be doing, my chosen path, and going in an opposite direction, I am fortunate enough that 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 I had intervention, divine intervention, to get me back on track. I'm fortunate enough. Some people he allows to drift way off track, right? But I guess he knows who I am and my passion, right? And he knows that if I dedicate my time to that, it's only going to delay what I'm truly going to become, right? Because he knows if I dedicate myself to a company, I'm going to be all in. I'm going to truly dedicate my time and my energy, right, to be the best, right? Because anything I do, I strive to be the best at it. Okay, I may not have the best physical attributes, but I have the greatest enthusiasm or whatever it takes, man. The best mental attitude about it. And I will go all in to try to achieve the best. So it's fortunate sometimes that you get redirected. And you have to begin to think like that in a positive fashion, right? You have to begin to think like that in a positive fashion. So knowing this, right? Knowing that God only helps those who help themselves. I try to avoid indulging in the why me syndrome. You know the why me syndrome. So many people, bad things happen to them and they go, why me? Why me? And my answer to them is, why not you? You've done everything to set up yourself to have that type of failure. Why not you? You made all the wrong decisions, done all the wrong things, but then you ask, why you? My question to you is, why did you do all of those things to lead up to that and then not expect it to happen for you? And so the same thing I say to myself. I've done all the things that led up to me having, not having success in what I was trying to achieve initially. So I'm not going to ask why me, because I did what it takes not to get it, right? I also learned, right, that not to have a pity party where I wait for somebody to come along and save me. I don't need nobody to save me. I don't need God to save me. He already saved me, guys. He already saved me when he breathed breath into my life and woke me up today. That's all you're supposed to get. Believe it or not. All you're supposed to get is another day to start fresh. Another tick of the clock, another 24 hours to get out there and get it done. It's up to you what you do with your 24 hours. If you blow your 24 hours doing nonsense, okay, surfing the internet, playing video games, whatever you're doing, and it's not of your benefit, then don't sit around and have a pity party when things don't happen your way, when you don't have the finances that you want, when you don't have the money that you want, when you're not living the life that you want, you don't have the family that you want, you don't have the health that you want. Don't have the pity party. You earned that. So when you earn it, keep moving forward. That's what you earned, okay? And if you want something different, you have to do the work to earn something different, guys. And that is where I'm at right now. Learning how to do the work to earn something different. That is why I wrote my book, Top 25 Mistakes, right? Because I've done so many dumb things, right? That there's no way that anybody else needs to be making these mistakes. These mistakes are stupid, guys. These mistakes are dumb, man. Dumb. But at the time, guys, I'll tell you, at the time, I was brilliant. It was a masterpiece. I was getting it done, right? Those were the people I was following behind, and those were the steps I was taking. That was the circle of influence I was in, and that was who I was learning from, guys. And that is how it goes, man. Little things influence you in certain ways to have a certain life that you want. So you have to pay close attention. Pay close attention to your environment. And I'll say this 100 million times over and over again. Your environment controls your destiny. Your environment controls your destiny. And it's just because when it comes to, right, the pyramid, right, the pyramid, I always tell people, shoot for the top of the pyramid, right? When you're trying to achieve something, shoot for the top of the pyramid. The air is thin up there, right? And it's far fewer people trying to shoot for the top, right? That when you shoot for the bottom and you try to grab the scraps that are dropped from the top, it is a fierce struggle just for survival at the bottom. And you don't want to be amongst that struggle. Because I believe that you are not built for the struggle at the bottom. The struggle at the bottom is life threatening, right? And you're not at a level of life threatening, right? You're eating, you're feeding your family, you're paying your bills, you're driving a pretty nice car, living in a nice neighborhood, in a nice house. Don't subject yourself to feeding on the scraps at the bottom. Shoot for the top of the pyramid, okay? Shoot for the top of the pyramid. Go for it, man. Go for it. I'm telling myself that as I look in the mirror, and I'm telling you that, guys, because if you're listening to this podcast right now, even if you don't have any money in the bank, man, there are people far less fortunate than you. Trust me. I've seen it. I've lived it. I've watched it, man. I have watched it. So I want you guys to know, right, that this isn't me giving up on trying to make extra money to create my business the way I want, right? Meaning I'm not going to try to get another source of income. It's not me giving up. I'm not doing that, right? But instead, what I'm doing is I'm regrouping, okay, my strengths, right? Regrouping my strengths so I can set up another run for my goal with a new set of perspective, right? A new vision, a new idea of how I'm going to come out my current situation. So it's going to take me some time. It's going to take me some time. It's going to take me some sitting down and some thinking. It's going to take me some writing, right? It's going to take me some reflecting. It's going to take me plenty of reading lots of books and gathering lots of material, okay, to see where am I going to go next? How am I going to do it next, right? I know one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to go all in on my Dream 100. I'm going to literally order 10,000 copies of my own book, 10,000 copies of my own book, and send them out to people. And I'm going to pay for it to go out to people. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send my copies of my books out to people and say, hey, listen, read my book. I think that it is in your niche, and I would love for you to do a review on it, right? Do a review on my book, good, bad, or indifferent. Talk about my book. And that is one of the things that I'm going to do to move my speaking and my business and everything that I do forward, okay? Also, after I hit my 1 year episode, I'm going to be doing my interviews. Every episode will be an interview, and every week will be a Facebook Live. So I may have to accelerate that, right? I may have to accelerate that and do that within the next 6 months, as opposed to a year. So we're going to see how that goes when it comes to me regrouping and seeing things from a new perspective, guys. But anyway, understand this, guys. This power that we possess, as long as you are fighting your battle, right? As long as you're fighting your battle with courage, number one, and tenacity, meaning you're not going to give up, you have a chance to win. You have a chance to win because you're not afraid to take a chance. You're not afraid to put yourself out there, and you're not afraid to keep fighting because you know that what you have is worth something. What you have is valuable. What you have is meaningful to somebody. So you're willing to fight for it. And if you're willing to fight for it with the courage, you're going to win. You are going to win. So I'm telling you right now, don't give up. Don't even think about giving up. And when you do think about giving up, work through it. Figure it out and do it anyway. Figure it out and do it anyway, man. I tell you over and over again, never quit and never let go of your fight, guys. Never quit and never let go of your fight. Man, life is a school, guys. Life is a school that you never graduate from, right? Every single day I'm learning a new lesson from life. Every single day, man, I'm getting knocked on my ass and having to get back up. I failed so many times in a day that I've gone to bed early just to get the day over with, man. You know, that is how bad sometimes it has gotten. And I want you guys to know, right? The cost of failing is your happiness, right? The cost of failing is your happiness. Because if you continually fail, right, that means you're constantly trying and you're constantly growing and you're constantly learning, right? You're not just beating your head up against the wall, but you're trying something different, and if it fails, you try something else different. And my idea for you is to fail as frequently as possible. Fail as frequently as possible, because in life, if you have self-determination and self-effort, meaning you don't need nobody to get you going, right? No one can keep you from manifesting your true destiny, right? Nobody can keep you from it. And these are things that you need in order to grow and live a life of true significance, guys. And that's what I want for you guys. I want you to work on living a life of true significance. And a lot of times when you get knocked down, you don't feel like you want to. You don't feel like you want to. And so I tell people, when you get that rejection feeling, when somebody has turned you away, when you had a plan and it didn't work out, feel it, right? We're all human, so I'm telling you to feel it. But what I'm also telling you to do is quickly try something else. Don't wait. Don't let the feeling sit on you and start to get the best of your mind, right? Immediately jump back into something and figure out what is right for you. You have to discover what is right for you in life. Everything may not work out the way you planned or the way you anticipated, but if you continually work, continually fight, continually struggle, and do it with courage and tenacity, self-determination, and self-effort, you too will win. You will win the battle of life, right? Because you're always going to have struggles. And the day that you close your eyes at the end of your life, you will have struggles and things that you did not achieve sitting on the table, right? Things that you're working for. But a fulfilled life is a life that you leave things, right? You leave a legacy of unanswered things that you were working on. I mean, seriously working on to achieve, right? Because you were engaged, man. When you want to leave engaged. You don't want to leave resolved. Or most importantly, you don't want to leave life in regret. So keep at it, keep working at it, man, and don't quit. And just because things don't work out for you today does not mean they can't work out for you an hour from now. So remember that as well, man. Have faith, believe, keep pushing forward, and don't give up, man. This is Lieutenant Sal Blue, and I just want you guys to hop on over to lieutenantsalblue.com, pick up your free copy of my book, man, or if you want, shoot me a DM. Shoot me a DM and give me a podcast idea. And when you give me a podcast idea, give me also your address, and I will send you a free copy of my book, and I'll pay for it. How about that? Send me a podcast idea that I use on the air, and I'll send you a free copy of my book, autographed, amongst the 10,000 copies that I'm giving out. So, listen, I'm going to wrap it up. Make sure you check me out on Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook, Blogger, YouTube, Twitter, and Reddit. And check me out on all of them at Lieutenant Sal Blue. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Once again, happy Thanksgiving. Tell me what, and also shoot me a DM. Tell me what you're grateful for, man. In the description, man. Tell me what you're grateful for Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Show some gratitude, show some appreciation, and have a good life, man. And have a good night, man. This is Lieutenant Sal Blue signing off. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Deuces.